Hey everyone, welcome back again. Thank you for joining me again. If you watched my first comic book review last week, and if you're new, welcome. Thank you for searching out my blog, searching my video, whatever. Just want to give a thank you to everyone for that. If you watch my first video, you will find out and know that this is all kind of new to me, doing the actual comic book review part, as opposed to the comic book convention, and action figure collectible reviews and whatnot. So just want to give that quick overview, and let's jump right into this week's reviews for the comics I picked up. Um, so also another quick overview. I'm very into mainstream comics because I am still fairly new into collecting and reading comic books. I kind of stick with the well-known, or essentially the mainstream heroes and stories and whatnot. So this week I picked up Deadpool's Art of War. There we go. I picked up the variant cover. Hopefully you can see that. Um, I always love picking up variant covers because I'm a big person in art. A lot of my comics, like I have the Iron Man 30th anniversary issue, which I never heard of it, but I love the cover art, so I picked it up. I actually did not like the regular version of Deadpool's Art of War, so that's why I got this variant, which it was the only one in my comic shop, Earth 2, here in Southern California. It wasn't too expensive, 15 bucks, not too bad. Sometimes I see these for 20, 30, 60, $100. So I was pretty happy with that. I wouldn't mind paying since I didn't pick up the regular cover as well. Um, but Scott Koblish did the art for this. He did the cover as well, and I love it. Deadpool just in a classroom setting, giving his little spiel on that. Fair warning: I included this in the description and the title, but spoiler alert in case you haven't read it yet or picked it up. I will be showing a few pages here and there, giving a little overview. So you have 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 spoilers incoming. It basically starts in ancient China, what it seems like. Talking about the art of war, and gathering like 100, 200 some women for battle. And then Deadpool arrives to avenge the women that are killed by the emperor or the general, I guess. And I was not sure if it was actually Chinese or in China until Deadpool says it's Chinese. Essentially stealing the Art of War books or chapters, and then jumping to the modern age. So I haven't read too many Deadpool comics, so I'm not sure what the issue is, if he's just like Wolverine, just living through time, or he has time travel, or how this all kind of works out. I love Deadpool, but like I said, I'm still new to comics, still adjusting the stories. So figuring that out, but of course, I know Deadpool's personality and his, witty edge and whatnot. And basically, this story, the start of this story, is him trying to gather a battle or a war to ensue on Earth, and none other than Loki is his first choice of villains. He goes to Loki, tells him basically what to do, and I'll show you, these pages of that, showing him, what to do, telling him who to attack, and of course he tells him to attack Thor, his brother. Then he goes to Thor and tells him, Loki's attacking, but Thor just seems to, not care much and figure he can win the battle. There's, a few pages of him. One thing I never realized, that Marvel comics seem to have a lot of ads. I know I'm more of a DC comic guy, just that's what I kind of started with. But Marvel comics have a lot of ads, which kind of get annoying. But no big deal. And then of course the whole battle ensues. The creatures emerge and whatnot. So it's it seems like it's going to be a fun book incorporating somewhat of the Avengers, or maybe just sticking to Asgard with Loki and Thor. I love the artwork, just fantastic color schemes and more of a saturated, warm color scheme. Make sure you can all see that. I don't believe, if I think about it, I'm not quite sure if I have any works by Scott Koblish, but I love this issue, and I'll be looking to pick up some more. And if they do more variant covers, hopefully they're as fun as this one. So next up, I will be discussing Death of Wolverine, 4-issue series. Of course, the 4th issue came out today, and quick overview for those who haven't read or anything. Of course, I picked up the variant cover for #1, Deadpool, which is quite odd because in the fourth issue they have all the variant covers, but I did not see this variant cover, so I should, I don't know, maybe get this checked out or what the deal is with that. I just thought that's kind of interesting. So quick overview, I love the covers of all of these. The very almost not holographic, but metallic, shiny foil look. Of course, #1 is the start to his hitman or the hitman coming after him. 2 is encountering poison and whatnot. The 3rd is Kitty Pryde coming back in, and then of course the 4th one, the one released today, October 15th, The Death. I have to say, this is my favorite. I love this cover more than the variant cover. The other covers are not, I love them, but they just don't have that dramatic, that power, that hit that the 4th issue gives you. It really, now that's the one thing too. It really shows a lot about this comic, this series, but does the actual story live up to what is going on? So again, spoiler alert. If you don't want to hear it, just skip to the end or just don't watch it because I might have a few things at the end. But for those that are leaving now, thank you for watching and stay tuned for more videos coming up. And now for those who are still watching, let's get right into the comic. Of course, the back of each issue had either 2 claws, 1 claw, and now just the skeleton claw. I actually did not read the 3 months, 2 months, and 1 month to die, so I'm a little hazy on what happened leading up to these events in the death of Wolverine. As far as in issue 4, he goes after Cornelius, and again, like I said, I'm still new to comics. I was under the impression Stryker was the one who gave Wolverine his adamantium. So I'm not sure who Cornelius is, unless Cornelius is his real name. I'm one of the kids who grew up on the movies essentially before getting into the comics, so I'm not quite sure where Cornelius and Stryker align. They essentially, to me, they look like and seem like the same character, same sort of base and whatnot. But of course, with Stryker dying and that whole scenario in the movies, I know, and trust me, I know the movies are not the most accurate to comics, but for someone like me, it just gets a little confusing. So basically, he goes to the lab, and spoiler alert again, goes to the lab, sees Cornelius making more test subjects, similar to, I guess, Wolverine, Deadpool from the movie and whatnot. Let's not even go there. And Wolverine kind of wants revenge, and Cornelius just wants his healing power, wants Wolverine's healing power. When one of the monsters or one of the creations comes to attack Wolverine, and basically Wolverine dodges his punch at one point and causes the glass to crack, and Wolverine destroys the machine or monster, whatever you want to call him. And then Cornelius initiates the adamantium incision or securing process to put it into the new mutants or new people, new soldiers. And this is kind of where I get disappointed after seeing this cover and reading the other 3 issues, and especially a character like Wolverine having this death, which is now being followed by the 2-year weekly series of Mystique and the other mutants who basically honor and fight for Wolverine. This death is very, I don't know. I don't want to say it's disappointing because I'm not entirely disappointed by it, but it kind of threw me off. If you've read it, you see him emerge with all the, his body covered in adamantium, and he, Cornelius basically tells him and is saying, "What have you ever done other than killing people?" And this is kind of touching to me because Wolverine has gone through so much shit in his life, and he just has the flashbacks of what essentially has gone on in his life, and he knows the adamantium is going to kill him. Looking off into the sunset of Nevada, and that's it. That is the end. Let me get that in the view. I'm assuming, he basically becomes an adamantium statue there. Um, I'm sure he's still alive, kills himself, and oh, I just saw something else, but I'll get back to that. Um, in a way, I don't know if he did it on purpose, but of course he was trying to stop the adamantium from getting into the new soldiers or the new weapons, but basically drenching himself in the adamantium and sacrificing himself. I would really like to hear your thoughts. Whoever has read it and is watching the video, what everyone thinks, because huge Wolverine fan. To see him go out like this, I don't want to say it's a dishonorable or a worthless death, but I would have expected him, being shot and stabbed and still fighting, and then after he kills everyone, all the enemies, he just walks out into the sunset and then collapses and says, he's more than that kind of thing, doing a self-reflection. Instead of, he does say enough, which is basically living up to him not wanting to live forever. But then just, that's how he dies, being covered in adamantium. I guess it's irony. Adamantium kind of gave him more strength and more mutant powers, if you want to say. And then what, gave him that essentially killed him. So you can look at it. It has many different viewpoints of how you can look at it. Overall, I am pleased with this mini series. I do kind of wish it was a little longer. Maybe if they played out a little bit more. Of course, I should read the 3 months, 2 months, and 1 month to die, and see how that plays out following into this series. And that's about it. Just trying to gather my thoughts about how this all worked out. And then what I actually noticed as I was looking at this back cover, there are more Death of Wolverine covers for number 1 on this last page. So I saw the my cover right there. So just quick note. Sorry to throw it off on a tangent, but it's a good book. I love the covers. Kind of hope number 4 lived up to the cover more, especially seeing the Reaper holding a naked, bloody, battered Wolverine, and then getting him covered to become a statue. Kind of throws it off, but can't complain too much because I personally enjoyed it. And there you have it. That's about it. That's about it for this week. And if like I said, there's going to be the new weekly series coming out for 2 years, apparently. That's descheduled. Whether that means at the end of 2 years, Logan and Wolverine will be returning, or that's just how long the series is. 2 years is a little much for a weekly series for me, a little more than a little much. I don't think I'll be picking it up, maybe if I see a variant cover I like for the first issue, but I don't know. I kind of wish there was a little bit more, but also wonder what the movies will do about it. And speaking of the movies too, I was a little confused why or how Iron Man, the Fantastic Four, and all them were doing with it. I know, X-Men, Avengers, all them, they have their sequences, they have their episodes and whatnot. But I just have to read up more on the comics and see what follows through to the series. So thank you everyone again for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Hope you add some good comments and subscribe to my channel, like my Facebook page. All the links will be at the bottom. And we'll stay tuned for next week. Let me just check my calendar. Next week I will be getting Predator Fire and Stone. So AVP has been released, but not Predator yet. And as well as Superman Unchained number 9. If you remember Superman Unchained, the New 52 by Jim Lee, Scott Snyder, Alex Sinclair for the inking, they were on that hiatus from issue 7 to 9 or so. And finally we got issue 7, we got issue 8. And I am, I've read a few of the issues, I love them. And I'll be sure to read the rest of them, including number 9 for next week to do that little highlight of it. I did read, the last video was on AVP, Fire and Stone number 1. Prometheus number 1, I haven't read yet. I didn't pick up number 2. I'm very focused on Predator stories. So when it comes to the Alien and Prometheus, I just can't find my interest in it. That's just me personally. So I'll scour Facebook and the internet for stories combining them from the other issues. So thank you again, and have a good night, everyone, or a good day from wherever you are or whenever you watch it, and see you all soon. Bye.